All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Astro Daddy podcast. This is Danny Santos coming at you. And today we are blessed to have the nail polish sisters, Jamie and Bella. Hello, ladies.
Hello, Astro
God.
Daddy.
Hello. For my followers who don't know you, I was just on your podcast. So for the Valentine's Day episode. And why don't you just tell your guys, my following, a little bit about what you guys do, who you guys are, how you got into podcasting.
You want to take it away?
Yeah, I could take it away. Bella and I have been, I'm Jamie. That's Bella.
Hey, baby.
Hi.
What's your sign?
I'm a Leo.
Yes.
And she is a
Virgo.
And we are compatible. We're also soulmates, according to Astro Daddy from
That's
our
right.
podcast.
That's
you should
right,
go
baby.
listen. But yeah, we've been best friends since we were 5, and we just thought that why not share the love? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we kind of just talk shit with each other and have a good time and ask questions that we can't answer between the two of us and try to get experts to come on and give us a little more knowledge about things that we're curious about. And so we have been having a blast, and we are so happy we got to have you on our podcast, and we can't wait to
Do this.
yeah, we can't wait to know more about us.
Ourselves.
We love it. It's our favorite topic.
Us.
Well, on your podcast, we talked a lot about how, Jamie, you are a Leo sun, and Bella, you are a Leo moon, and how
Yes.
that's one of the soulmate placements that we see in astrology. So it's actually very interesting because both of you have significant placements in both Leo and Virgo. So you guys are made up of very similar star stuff. So, Jamie, in your birth chart, not only are you a Leo sun, but your destiny sign is Leo.
What is
So that means in this lifetime, you have to go deeper into Leo because you've mastered Aquarius qualities in your life. So this is called the North Node. That's your destiny. So your North Node's in Leo, South Node in Aquarius. So when the South Node is in Aquarius, you're already very developed at being a humanitarian, taking care of the group, thinking of others more than yourself. It's not a very egocentric placement. You know, your psychology is one where you're more thinking about, like, how can I include everybody? How can I make sure I'm helping the planet? And you've got that Aquarius moon there. You've got the planet Uranus
You're
on the
helping
south
the
node.
planet,
I'm
girl.
like,
No,
You
but
know?
you help other people. You are very inclusive.
Yeah, like just
not really good at recycling. I'm trying.
well, that's not really the necessary mission. I mean, because so in your birth chart, the North and South Node, North Node in the 11th house, which is the Aquarius sector of life, destiny in Aquarius, but also it's in the sign of Leo.
That's so interesting.
So South Node in the 5th house, the Leo sector, but it's in the sign Aquarius. So in this lifetime, you have to balance your relationship between being the star, being the center of attention, helping the collective. Like, there's these two sides of you, the Leo sun, the performer, and the Aquarius moon, the humanitarian. So you're here to go deeper into both of those signs in this lifetime.
I'm down.
You know, what do you think about it?
I think that it makes a lot of sense because I think that I have inner conflict about that, where I'm like, I do love being the center of attention and stuff, but I'm also sort of like that can only work if I'm helping other people.
Yeah.
But I think I have a hard time where I'm like, I shy away from a lot of the things that I'm like, feel like I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we're on a full moon right now, the day we're recording this. The sun is in Aquarius and the moon's in Leo.
Shut up.
Hell no. Is that
That's
good or bad?
crazy.
It's just like you're being activated on your, like, destiny stuff, you know?
Is it a full moon tonight?
It's I think last night was like
Okay,
the
because I
peak of
saw
it.
it last night and I was like, whoa.
It was
You know, it's
very
beautiful.
intense. Yeah.
Just big.
Yeah. I wasn't
So-
feeling intense vibes last night though.
Well,
Maybe because the moon is like it's meant to be.
yeah,
For you.
it's
So
giving you a
maybe
little
it's not
juju.
Like chaos for you this
yeah,
time.
it does feel. I've been calm. I was calm last night.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, because when Leo's
Proud of you.
Yes.
Yay.
but when
No crying last night. I was good.
But when Leo's the primary destiny sign, which in your chart it is, it's about like expanding the ego, going bigger, not being afraid to make yourself the center of attention. But then we have the humanitarian thing too. So like being the voice of your generation on the podcast and having this like, oh, I'm standing in the center of attention, but I'm also leading a lot of people.
Yeah.
You
That
know?
makes sense.
How do
Like,
you feel
that's-
about that?
That feels right. Like that feels like what like if I can help and lead,
Yeah.
that feels really fulfilling
Yeah.
to me.
Well, and your past life, you know, that Aquarius moon, that Aquarius south node, it's in the 5th house of Leo. It's almost as if your whole identity in past lives has been surrounded around helping other people and being that humanitarian. So you're not going to lose that flavor. It's just you have to go deeper into making it a little bit more about you.
Yeah. I feel really narcissistic when I do that, though.
Well, and that's the balance. It's like there might be some shame around making it about you. That's that Aquarius south node. Like there's an aversion to being the star or being the center of attention.
You know what this is telling me?
What?
You need to pursue singing.
Oh, girl,
She's
you
a
sing?
phenomenal singer, and she has beautiful lyrics that would help people because it would speak to them. And I think she doesn't want to be the center of attention, which is the problem with what she doesn't go into it.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I think, I don't know why listening to that, I'm just feeling like,
Because I was thinking the same thing.
yeah, it needs to go. It's time, baby girl.
Yeah.
I know. I think I've strayed away from it for so long that it's it feels almost unnatural, but it's like the most natural part of my life. You
Yeah.
know? Like I haven't warmed up in like 6 months or something.
Girl,
I haven't
warm
sang.
that voice up,
I
okay?
know.
Agreed.
Okay, starting
Astro
tomorrow,
Daddy
guys.
prescription. Go
Prescription warm up.
go be the star.
Okay.
I'll give you another example. My ex-boyfriend was a Leo, and his destiny sign was also Leo, and past life Aquarius. He came from a Pentecostal church. His parents were both ministers. It was all like they had a drug and rehab business, like nonprofit. It was always about being a humanitarian, being part of the group, serving the collective. And he went off and became like a Christian rock star for a little while,
way.
and like produced music and musicals, and then like released an album about being gay and doing that kind of stuff. Like he really expanded his ego. So you might relate to this idea of being part of the group and like getting lost amongst the group on some level, but you need to go be the star, be the center of attention,
Okay.
and not be ashamed about it. It's like to know when you take that breath, I deserve to take up this space.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
your work, to not
I
be
know
ashamed.
It's my work. You're not telling me anything like
Okay.
that. I don't. But I also I think I have shame around that too.
Yeah.
Of like not of having shame for. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like a shame cycle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having shame about having shame for
Not
not taking up space.
not taking up space.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's your journey.
It is.
You know, and actually, when we look at Bella's birth chart, her Mars, so the part of you that's active and like charging into things and how you initiate things, is right on top of your destiny. So you're going to push her. You're going to be like, you need to go further. Like, you know, the way that
Mars,
you,
bitch.
well, Bella, the way that you handle conflict and assert yourself, it's in Leo. So it's proud. Like you have this quality about yourself. You're like, well,
Yeah.
you know, so if you're upset, you're going to share your opinion, but also the way you initiate things is like, I deserve to be in the light. Like, you know, maybe not that Virgo part of you that's a little bit more shy or introverted or keeping to yourself. But when you have a drive, the way you drive into things is creatively to express yourself, to assert yourself. Does that make sense to you? I know you're an actress, right?
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about this drive to create and how you don't feel ashamed to be in the starlight.
Well, I think that actually is really interesting because when I am working, like I don't like to, Bella doesn't like emotions, but like working, I don't mind like digging in deep and showing like the dark side. I think like I like acting because you get to show the people, like people's darkest moments
Yeah.
that you don't want to share yourself. So it's nice to like, you're the vessel for something bigger than yourself.
Yeah. But you get to express it through your ego.
Yeah.
It's like you're channeling.
Yeah. And I think I've been through enough now where I'm like, okay, like everyone, even if you, I don't know, like everyone has an interesting story and it's fun to tell someone else's story that's not necessarily yours.
Yeah. Well, when we have significant Leo placements in the birth chart, it makes it so that you're here to like tell the stories through your identity. You know, you're the
That's
vessel.
really interesting.
You're the vessel to tell the story. So you both have it. You need to step more into it. You've got a natural drive to do that, you know?
Great.
Yeah.
So you can help push her.
I think she needs to sing.
There you go. You want to give us a little something right now?
I can't because I'm drinking fucking milk. It's really bad for my vocal cords. I used to be crazy about it though. I used to like be on an acid reflux diet. I used to go to my singing coach once a week for 4 or 5 years in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a musical theater person. Like I just have been I think because the way I always look at it is like it became when it was close to being monetized or the idea of monetization of that came up.
Yeah.
It really freaked me out.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was like I don't want
too much pressure.
Yeah, and I think it was being controlled from a lot of different ends, and I felt like that was always such a passion thing for me, and I lost my passion for it when other people had a lot of say in what I was doing.
And that's part of the Aquarius South Node is everybody has an opinion on what you're doing.
Yeah,
like,
what the fuck is that about?
well, think of my ex-boyfriend who's in the Pentecostal church and they wanted him to stay in the closet and they didn't want him to travel the world and do music. They wanted him to stay and play piano for the church.
Yeah.
So it's like that's part of your lesson is to get over everybody else's opinion. And like, do you know what's right for you? And like claiming that space so that when you're secure in your identity, then you can be a humanitarian with your gift.
Right.
It's like your voice becomes the gift to the collective. It's not just about expanding your ego, but it's bringing it to the world.
That's fascinating.
So,
And your voice is a gift.
Oh, thank you, Queen.
it really, but both of you both have nice voices. So,
No, her singing voice though is like, I cry when I hear her sing. It's that beautiful.
oh my God, that's so nice.
No, it's not. It's just how she is. I wish it was like me being emotional, which like I am a lot, but
Yeah, you do cry when you hear my songs that I write.
I love her songs.
All right. Well, should we talk, Bella, a little bit about your destiny and what you're here to do in this lifetime? So your destiny sign is Virgo.
Oh,
So weird.
You know, so you
that
both
weird though. That
Does that happen a lot?
No, it's it's just you happen to be born during Virgo destiny time and Virgo season.
cool.
But your other destiny sign is Taurus because it's in the second house. So what this tells me is your past life signs are Pisces and Scorpio. Pisces is the sign of being without boundaries, kind of allowing everybody in and out. It's like compassionate, kind, friendly, maybe sometimes like going so much with the flow that like things can get like you can either feel neglected because you're not like advocating for yourself or like judgment isn't casted correctly because there's just no say. Everything's flowing so much, you know, so you might be overly forgiving or like too kind in a situation or let things go when really they need to be like talked about.
That's
And then
interesting.
we've also, well, why do you say that?
Because I that checks out
Yeah.
for you.
You
Because
know?
you care so much and you love so deeply that like you're willing to oversee a lot of flaws of people that need to actually be spoken about so that you both can benefit from it, but you're like sometimes afraid because you love them so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my son is right on your south node. So we're both very forgiving, kind people. So like
Yeah.
hanging out with me would be in your comfort zone
Yeah.
because we're both just really lax. Like we go with the flow. It's kind of natural in that capacity. And then your other past life sign is Scorpio, the sign of trauma, instability, insecurity. like
You're like, oh,
it's a very intense sign.
Yeah.
So it's
Didn't
possible.
you say that was the hell sign?
It's the underworld side.
underworld
the
side.
underworld. It's the ayahuasca placement.
Yes.
So in a past life, you might have been a starving artist. You might have been somebody you've
I
developed.
love that journey for me.
Well, you've been somebody in past lives where you developed Pisces. It's about the boundaries and stuff, but that's also the sign of creativity. So you have an incredible creative gift already that you've developed in past lives. And then we've got Scorpio, the sign of like taking risks and not feeling safe and not feeling secure. Like you've lived a life in your past life where you had to give up everything to try to make your dream come true. So you didn't have security in past lives. Do you feel that on any level? Not in this lifetime, but maybe like
Maybe in past. I don't know. Now I want to do past life regression.
I do past life regression.
you do?
Yes, I do.
Shut
my
up.
God.
Oh, we're doing
So-
it.
I need to do that.
We're doing it. Because I do honestly feel like there is something about that where, you know, it's interesting because, you know, when you have those moments of doubt and you really like they really kill me. Like they take me down for like weeks on end.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that maybe is connected to something in a past life where it's like, even though that's not my life now, I live a very like blessed, fortunate life. Maybe
Yeah.
somewhere in the past, my body's like
Feeling
my
this
soul is
memory.
reacting to something that like
Yeah.
it's not in my life this time around,
Yeah.
but maybe it's something that's like connected.
Yeah, well, Scorpio, South Node people or past life people, like there is something about this idea of trauma. And when things happen, you take it so hard because Scorpio, what's familiar to you is like Scorpio is a sign of death.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like when things happen, it feels like it's a death occurring.
Yeah.
So maybe experiencing death when you were really young, or having some kind of traumatic event in your childhood, or there's these kinds of things. It's familiar to you. So you know how to handle crisis, because that's the Scorpio side of you, but then also like to be kind and help people and like help other people deal with crisis or feel compassionate. You know, you've mastered these signs.
Interesting. Would you agree?
I agree. Very much
So
so.
your destiny in this lifetime to have Virgos have good boundaries. It is
I
the
do
sign.
have
She
good
has magical boundaries.
So, but you're here to go deeper into that, because that Pisces side of you, you're very forgiving and very compassionate. So you're here to develop the boundaries further. You know, it's like, okay, yes, I can be forgiving and all of that, but it can only take me so far.
Yeah. I agree with that.
That's really interesting because I do think my boundaries do. I have strong boundaries, but I'll drop them.
Yeah, I
You
was
know?
gonna say because of maybe it's the Pisces thing. It's
It
like
is.
People, it's when it's people you love.
Yeah.
because they're like people you don't care about. You're like fuck that, like boundary set. But it's like people you love really deeply. Again, like I think you have a harder time
Doing that, yeah.
Yeah. And that just creates this energy, which throughout your life, like,
Chaos.
because you've developed surrender and compassion and kindness, but also creativity in past lives, you're here to refine all of those things. Okay, I know what it means to let go. But what would happen if I took all the things I'm good at and asked myself what really matters? And in this lifetime, you're here to cut things down to the essentials. Virgo is like a pair of scissors. So it's like, I don't need everything. I don't need everyone to love me. I don't need everything to be, you know, it's to really get to like what matters in my life. You don't need to give everyone permission to come in and out of your life. That also means, well, what do you think about that?
Well, I just think that's interesting. Everything I think is interesting, but I'm just like, wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. I think as I've gotten older, I have started to learn to cut things out and to only surround myself with the people I like.
Yeah.
I think in high school and when you're a teenager, it started with wanting to have a lot of friends, not having plans on a Friday night would eat me up alive. And like, I would freak out if I wasn't doing everything on the weekends. And then now that I'm older, I don't care as much. And I don't mind just spending time with like Jamie and just playing cards, you know?
Because that's what really matters.
Yeah.
You know, the people who matter to you the most.
It kind of reminds me of we did on our podcast the love language.
Yeah.
We did like the love language quiz, and I think mine, like the last one on mine would be like receiving gifts. Like over time I've learned I actually don't care to receive gifts, but like my number one thing is spending time with people.
Yes. Quality time.
Yeah, so I think that kind of correlates.
Mine's receiving gifts.
That's very common for Leos though.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Leo's like a good gift. But we can think about this energy of having Pisces on the past life as well. You've developed creativity. So you might be really having an expansiveness on creativity can sometimes make people a little bit like not organized on some level. So you're here to also refine your skills. Like, yeah, you've got creativity. You have the ability to express and emote and do these things. But like now you've got to go into like memorizing lines and repetition, practice, mastering. Virgo is the sign of refinement. It wants to take things and perfect them. So you've got Scorpio, the ability to emote deeply and feel the trauma and the intensity. And then Pisces, your creativity, your ability to let go. Like you've got those things developed. So in this lifetime, you're like, all right, how can I refine my talent? How can I take what I'm good at and like master it? Virgo is mastery.
I feel like you're on that journey already.
I think so. Makes me think about it too, like the feeling things and then dropping them. I think I'm still working on like dropping the emotions.
Well, it's a lifetime of, you know.
Yeah.
But that's why Virgo can help you, because it's like, no, that doesn't really matter. Snip, snip. Like you're practicing in this lifetime how to, snip, snip. That's what I think of with Virgo. It's a little shears.
V and it
It
cuts.
is. Snip, snip. Time to
Snip,
cut it
snip.
off. But it's like
Bye-bye.
if you're having a if you're having a repetitive thought that you don't like, you can use this Virgo tool of like, does this really matter?
Ooh.
You know,
Love that.
That's
I
a good
love
mantra
that.
for you. Does this really matter? You know, snip, snip.
Whenever
If
you're
not,
having
Yeah, if
doubts,
I'm
I'm
just
just gonna
having-
go Snip, snip.
Snip, snip, baby, snip, snip.
Double snip.
Double snip.
Double snip.
Woo. But then I think of your other destiny sign is Taurus. So security.
Multiple?
I'm sorry.
You can have multiple destinies?
Yeah, two. Well, you've got Aquarius and Leo both as your destiny and your past life. So you're working.
You're just crazy.
You're balancing these two sides of yourself in this lifetime because the universe is like, okay, you do them both. Let's make them fit together nicer.
Okay, and yours is Virgo.
Virgo and Taurus. They're both earth signs.
Taurus. You have so many, like, you have a very wide variety of signs
I
already.
know, this is crazy.
Yeah, well, and you also have that Leo moon too. So there's the instinct to perform.
True.
But we think about Taurus as the destiny sign. You're here to experience comfort, pleasure, sensuality, beauty, to experience things through the physical senses. Because in past lives, you were either poor or like constantly dealing with death and transformation. So in this lifetime, you incarnated to understand what it means to have a stable life, to have security.
That gave me the chills.
Well, and also to experience pleasure, like to dress in a beautiful manner, to
I do like to dress.
to learn to like cook beautiful food would be a good expression of this.
I
Or
love to cook.
everything that you do needs to be touched with beauty, pleasure, and sensuality. And
That
if
makes
we
so much sense.
Yeah, that does.
if we mix that with Virgo, it's like to perfect beauty in this lifetime is a really good mantra for you. But it's not out of vanity. Taurus is also the sign of acceptance. So you're not trying to change things. You're trying to work with what's already there and just make it luxurious or beautiful or, you know. So what do you think about this?
What do you think about this?
What do you think about this?
What do I think about this?
I think I'm mind blown a little bit because I do have that. I think it comes from my dad initially, but he has the beauty and aesthetic thing down. So I've always grown up with that in my life.
What sign is he?
He's a Gemini.
Oh, we talked about this before. Very social.
He's a little Gemini, and my mom's a Leo. And I think growing up, he would always flip homes and make something that wasn't so beautiful, but it was never about ripping down a house. It was always about reforming it, into
Refining
something
it, yeah.
beautiful. So that kind of
It has a good
and
instinct.
I feel like that's where I get how I behave, like how I dress, how I do everything is from the standpoint of you don't have to knock everything down. You just have to like add to it and
Yeah.
make it better that way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that made sense.
Totally.
Totally. And to have Scorpio as one of the past life signs, that's the sign of like death, transformation, constant change. Like your soul knows how to handle things when they go wrong. So it's almost like in this lifetime, what if things just could go right? And like learning to feel secure, that's a big part of your destiny, to stop having the instinct that things are going to go wrong.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I am really good with change and chaos and
Scorpio things.
just
you know?
stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, breakups, they hurt a little bit, but I'm really good at
Letting
working
go.
through it. Yeah.
Well, and Scorpio is a sign of eliminating trauma, you know? So I think of like anytime a Scorpio is born into a family, they're always there to like help the family and the bloodline, like shed the trauma of the bloodline.
Because they're so traumatic.
Because
They're traumatic people.
Well, because they have trauma within themselves, you know, because Scorpio is a sign of inheritances. So inheriting money from other people, inheriting genetics from other people, like, you know, it's just you're taking on other people's stuff. So in past lives, you've already like cleaned up the mess of your ancestors so much that in this lifetime it's like, no, break free of your parents' trauma or of anybody else's trauma and just create your own stable life. Like that's the mantra.
Snip, snip.
Yeah, snip, snip. So you've got two earth signs. It's a very secure life that you're building this time, but you have to work through those Scorpio and Pisces, like lack of boundaries or the ancestral stuff coming up, you know?
Yeah.
But the mantra is, no, beauty, harmony, balance. That's your North Star in this lifetime.
That's why I surround myself with Jamie.
There
And
you
she's all
go.
three.
Look at those blue eyes.
I'm
Look
a
at her.
humanitarian.
She's
but
perfect.
for Bella.
Well, and in Jamie's birth chart, she has her Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion, optimism. It's where we're the most knowledgeable. You have Jupiter in Taurus, and it's right on top of Bella's destiny sign. Jupiter in Taurus at 3 degrees, destiny in Taurus at 1 degree. Or it's in the second house, so, you know, it's behaving like Taurus. But there's the way that you philosophically view life is informing what you're trying to develop in this lifetime.
Really?
So, Jamie, you are expanded on pleasure, good food, good music, enjoying your life, like extracting as much pleasure out of life as possible.
Hell yeah.
It's informing you, Bella, on how you can learn to lighten things up a little bit.
But you know what's interesting? And I don't know if this was in Taurus or I just missed it, but like the vanity aspect of things, so not into it.
Well, not every Taurus has that vanity quality. You know, I think of more like Libra as a vanity sign. They're both ruled by Venus, Taurus and Libra. But a Taurus views Venus things or beauty, pleasure as like walking outside, picking a bunch of oranges from the tree, noticing that they're all
makes
like
sense.
different shaped and not caring.
Like basically living life on mushrooms, but not.
Yeah. But saying like, wow, this
I'm like, oh my God, look at that tree. It's so insane.
But like nature
Same.
Nature
Like
has
that olive tree. It's perfect.
nature, when you pick oranges, they're all going to be different shapes and sizes. And like, you know, it does its own thing.
Yeah.
Nature does its own thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Libra views beauty as like, oh, I'm going to intellectually create balance in everything and everything's curated and it must be a certain way.
It's funny. My sister's a Libra.
Is she very like,
Yeah.
needs to have.
She's a YouTuber.
Okay.
She doesn't like it when I call her an influencer, but she's an influencer and a YouTuber. Whatever she wants to be.
She works
She's an
in
artist.
media. Yeah.
She's a content creator.
There you go, baby.
She's badass,
True.
but she does beauty and makeup and fashion and like all aesthetic stuff. So I just think that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So Libras are focused on like, how can I extract beauty by controlling it? It's an air sign. So it's like
Interesting.
using their mind to make things more beautiful.
Yeah.
Whereas
She
a
has
Taurus,
really good quality of that.
there you
My
go.
sister?
Yeah, she
Oh my
just
God,
make
it's
anything
amazing.
look beautiful.
She can make your face look beautiful with makeup. Like she's beyond talented.
Yeah.
She
Truly.
really is.
But a Taurus just like walks outside and is like, look at all these plants. They're all doing their own thing. Like, it's so beautiful.
fucking cool.
They just accept things for what they
month
are.
is Taurus?
Taurus would be from April 20th approximately to like May 21st-ish.
I don't think I know any Tauruses.
either.
They'll inform your life. You know, when you meet a Taurus, notice Tauruses don't want to change things. They just accept them for what they are and find them beautiful for what they are.
Oh,
So
how
another
lovely.
master lesson for you is acceptance.
Yeah.
To just accept things for what they are
Yeah.
rather
very
than
much
trying
a
to change them.
controller.
There you go. Well, and it goes with Virgo too. Whereas Leo, having that as one of your destiny signs, that is the sign of gratitude and then loyalty. Once you show gratitude for something long enough, then you develop loyalty. So it's like not being lost amongst the crowd, but having people that actually hold on to you. You know, that's gonna expand you in this lifetime.
That's nice.
I hold on to you.
Yeah, you
Not
do.
physically. I don't like to touch you. But
But emotionally, yes.
You know, so what do you guys think the benefits of knowing, you know, this kind of like destiny placement in astrology does for you as individuals?
in a weird way, I think it's kind of clarifying and makes things I didn't realize about myself make sense in a way. Or it's even like Jamie always says to me, she's like, you're always ahead of the fashion trends. How do you know what's
Taurus
coming?
placement.
And I guess it's a Taurus placement. Like it's just how I see the world. It's like little things like that I didn't realize. Because, you know, everyone is like the stars and it's like, oh, like, does it true? Crystals, like all that. Like, but it is true. It's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's super spot on. And it's like, I think a lot of people are not, you know, willing to invest in that kind of thing because they're like, ugh, like it's not happening right in front of me. So why should I understand it? But it's very like, it simplifies things in a lot of ways. And also, to be fair, I've had like years and years of therapy, but like it reaffirms a lot of like the lessons and the like the my journey kind of thing. I don't mean to air quote it in a sarcastic way, but I mean just
That's
like
okay.
the journey of what I'm supposed to be doing here is then reaffirmed. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. It kind of stresses me out, but also makes me excited. And I
Yeah.
guess those are similar feelings.
Totally.
So-
I mean, the body doesn't know the difference between like fear and excitement.
I know.
It thinks they're like the same thing.
Yeah.
It's also interesting because a lot of the times people just know their sun, and it's important that you know it all, or it's not going to, like reading your horoscope in the New York Times isn't going to do the same as sitting here and learning about every single little piece and where all the stars were in the sky. It happened. That's when it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and like I was telling you guys on your podcast, the goal is to do astrological birth chart analysis to prep people to do their ayahuasca ceremonies.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would do ayahuasca.
Well, when the time comes, you know.
Yeah. I'm scared.
I'm scared, but I'm like, maybe that would really help because I do feel like boxed. Like when I hear the word expansion and like
you panic.
Destiny. Yeah, because I'm like, I know I boxed myself in and I don't know why I do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can like, I'm like excited for the moment where I just feel like I've broken through it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but where is it? Do I need ayahuasca to do it? Because I'm
You don't.
sick of crying all the time.
You don't need ayahuasca to change. So I like to say there's like 1,000 ways to skin a cat. That's something one of my old teachers used to say.
So sad.
I know.
It's fucked up.
But
Poor
that's,
cat.
I don't want to skin the cat. That's so cute.
But the point is, you can achieve the same results that ayahuasca can give you through therapy, EMDR, breath work, working with a spiritual coach. Like there's 1,000 ways to do anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's just ayahuasca. It's kind of like the most extreme way because you get in there and you work that shit out in the matter of, you know, an evening or two. But the thing is, if you don't have a good foundation before you go do ayahuasca, the change is harder to maintain.
Right.
So that's why it's recommended you work with somebody before, during, and after to help you integrate your experience.
Interesting.
Otherwise, you could do, I've had it where I've done ayahuasca. I lost 60 pounds, stayed on a great diet for 6 months, and then I got fired from the job I was working for. Everything like went reverse, you know? So you need to have like some form of accountability or ways to know that you've really changed, you know?
Yeah.
And that is a lasting change. Like it's
Yes.
an innate change.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
You know, lifestyle change.
Yeah.
But also like I didn't have the tools developed to handle the being fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was my second time being fired.
Yeah.
So
Being fired sucks though.
have you been fired?
I've been fired from everything. If we talk about like acting, I feel like I'm fired from everything because I just look at like not booking a role as being fired.
That's
Got it.
not true.
It's not true.
The rejection can feel the same though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
rejection.
I take rejection. I mean, to be fair, like from where I started, I take rejection a lot better. But like, if I take it pretty hard. Like even yesterday, like I found out for like the 40th time that like I was on a short list for something,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
What does that mean?
it means like when it's narrowed down and they're picking between like 2 or 3 people, and like the feedback is always like they loved it, but they went with another person.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I supposed to do with that rejection? I mean, listen, it's the name of the game, but it's like
At least you're getting that. That means you're one step closer.
true,
It's true.
exactly. So I tried to just like flip the switch, and I'm just
Persistence.
like my expansion. I've just been like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever, it's good news. But rejection is part of my. I don't know where that is in my placement.
It's
but
the Aquarius.
yeah,
to
it's
just
huge
keep
for me.
to keep dissolving the ego and be like, okay, I guess I just got to get over this.
Yeah,
And if you can keep exercising that muscle so that you can get to your goal, that's the benefit,
yeah,
you know?
but rejection sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Rejection is God's protection.
Oh,
It do be true.
amen.
Amen.
All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna have to do a snip on this episode because
I don't want it to end.
I know I want us to keep going, but we had some technical difficulties and just running a little late. So, but please let my followers know how they can find you guys, the Nail Polish Sisters.
You can find us at the Nail Polish Sisters on Instagram, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast, TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the nailpolishsisters.com is our website.
Yes, or follow at Bella or at Jamie Belushi.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
There you go.
You'll get some content.
Yeah. I mean, you'll get the same. Yeah, just follow the Nail Polish Sisters.
Follow something. Just follow.
One
please.
of the 3.
Just please follow us.
please.
And this is Danny Santos, your Astro Daddy, coming at you. Please follow the podcast. Keep going. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. And we'll be back next week with a super cool new video. Bye-bye.
Woo, woo.
Woo-woo.